So let's start with Amazon. So Jeff Bezos is out. Todd, I don't remember the name of the new CEO. Help me out if you know it. If not, we'll just admit that we don't know what we're talking about.
New CEO, blank, blank, blank. It's so funny when I don't, Joe. You'll have to do a quick Google search.
Don't worry, I'll Google it
I
right
think
now.
it's so amazing to think about how much value is created for Amazon shareholders under Bezos's leadership since the
Andy Jassy is his name. I'm
Andy
probably
Jassy.
botching that pronunciation. Jassy.
And do you see a press release there saying where he came from?
I believe he was promoted from inside the company. But
Well, that's good because you helping this because there's advantages to doing that. A lot of times companies that aren't successful will bring in someone from the outside from that has a successful track record.
yeah,
When a company is successful, promoting from within makes sense because the person who is taking over understands the businesses, where the pain points are already, what's going well in the direction, but also probably brings a little bit of fresh blood to it because now they can say, geez, all these things that I wanted to get done, but I wasn't the one with the final stamp of approval, I can now get done. And, if you look at CanSlim, which is William O'Neill's way of looking at stocks, I mean, one of the things that you want to look for to meet the CanSlim criteria is something new. And one of the things that O'Neill pointed out was new CEOs oftentimes help spark rallies. And I think that, that's a great point for me to bring up the chart of Amazon. So, Joe, can you see the chart?
I sure can.
All right.
And that's quite a movement over the past few days.
Right. And if you look right here, Joe, I'm pointing right at the arrow for people who are listening on the podcast. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, you can see it. New CEO. And look at the volume just absolutely surge on those 3 days after the official date of the new person at the helm. And breaking out, Joe, if you look at a monthly chart, look at that monthly chart, all-time highs.
Yeah, that's a nice looking chart right there.
And they say, Joe, that the bigger the base, the higher into space is the Wall Street saying. And
I like that.
Base goes all the way back to July of 2020. So almost a year they were breaking out of this nice long base. So Amazon, we talked about this show in our smattering from 6/21. I think June 21st was the day that we highlighted it as improving in the research and offering an opportunity to buy. And you can see right here, that was here around, the high of the day was 35.07. We're now at 37.29. So we'll declare a little bit of victory there. But I think this is, we've talked about this before. This is, for me, this is one of those forever stocks. Buy it, sit on it.
Yep. It's definitely not going anywhere. So just to answer your question from a couple of minutes ago, the new CEO, Andy Jassy, led Amazon Web Services since 2003. So he definitely knows the company inside and out, knows the people he's working alongside and above. And he's also chairman of the board now. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one to watch. It could definitely be a case study in future business school classes. So that'll be a fun one to watch.
A lot of people, Joe, like to think that Amazon's best days are behind it, right? But I always come back to this, and it's obviously the last year with COVID kind of accelerating a lot of e-commerce buying and activity. They pulled forward a lot of sales, got a lot of people maybe to go online, buy from them rather than going to a Walmart. But Walmart, and this usually surprises people, Walmart still does more in revenue, people, than Amazon. Matter of fact, last quarter, Joe, Walmart did $40 billion more in revenue than Amazon.
That's impressive.
And the other thing that we have to realize is that a lot of Amazon's revenue is coming from AWS, right? Their cloud services business. And, it also gets a lot of money from Prime, which, you get the entertainment aspect of this. So it's kind of like combining together, Netflix, the cloud services part of Google, if you will, and the e-commerce giants. So there's a lot of different, they like to call it optionality, right? So there's a lot of optionality that we've seen with Amazon.
That's right. And it's clear that Amazon is probably one of the best companies in the world of just maintaining several massive revenue streams. Obviously, they have the whole e-commerce portion, but then people oftentimes don't realize how big and how successful AWS is. I know back in I think like the early to mid 2010s, AWS was basically like the sole driver of Amazon's profit. I don't remember the specific numbers, but I remember hearing for a long time that the retail business was the e-commerce business that is was actually not profitable, but AWS was bringing in like tens of billions of dollars in profit and basically propping the whole company up.
Yeah, and just so our listeners know, AWS generated 13.5 billion in revenue for Amazon last quarter alone. So
That's remarkable.
that's remarkable. 27, so 54 billion a year run rate.
Yeah. So it's like they're like they have a cloud storage and a web hosting and server company that's as big as probably Oracle wrapped up in everything else they do. It's mind blowing how big they are.